Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls in between jits, and welcome back to the rundown, a 10-minute testing for Genesys Format. The NAWCQ is passed, and with it, we have gotten a good idea of what are the best decks in Genesys. Barring any kind of points changes that could happen in the future, we know the best deck is Blitzclick. And while, yes, I could be making a video about how Blitzclick is so dominant in Genesys, just featuring the best deck doesn't interest me too much. So, rather than talk today about what is the best deck in Genesys, instead I want to talk about one of my favorites. Also debuted in Chaos Origins, and if you kept a close eye on this channel, I've already talked about and showed off some gameplay. Anyway, without further ado, please let me introduce to you Sacred Beasts.
Card, Dimension Fusion Destruction! It's been a blast messing around with the Sacred Beasts, but by removing all three of them from play at the same time, I can summon
the chaotic phantasmal Sacred Beasts.
That's right, today we're taking a look at Sacred Beast. While, yes, I would love to show you a deck playing the OG Raviel, Hamon, and Uriah, this deck is basically a brand new beast. Being made up of mostly brand new cards from Chaos Origins, these cards are actually just retrains of the already released Sacred Beasts, along with some other related cards. Now, at the NAWCQ, yes, we did see a lot of Blitzclick, just straight domination. The top 8 was all Blitzclick except for one Constellar player. But if you kept your eye on the top decks, you see a lot of representation for Sacred Beast. So let's not waste any time and jump into the card by card. We're on 3 Martyr of the Sacred Beast. This is 2 points in Genesys. I should point out Martyr specifically is one of the cards with these new Sacred Beasts that is a mandatory 3 of. We're on 1 Summoner of the Sacred Beast. This is 5 points. I was playing around with 2 or 3 Summoners, but I found that with this version of the deck specifically, you don't really need the other Summoners. While yeah, it's nice to draw them along with one of our Sacred Beasts, it's so available in the deck that it's not necessary to spend the extra 10 points on 2 more copies. Then for the actual Sacred Beasts, we're on 3 Hamon, 3 Raviel, and 2 Uriah. Some decks cut Uriah to 1 or even 0, but for Genesys, we need all the names we get, and Uriah is a great end board piece for us as well. Now we have our little discard package here. We have 1 Boyo the Dawn's Light, Fiendish Rhino Warrior, Phantasmal Summoning Beast. Last but not least, we have 1 Vodnica the Fountain Spirit. Then we have our Pointed Hand Traps, 3 Nibiru, 3 Molcharmi Fulos, and 2 Ghost Ogre Snow Rabbit. I would prefer to be playing Perulia. It's much better into Blitzclick, but I've kept this as Fulos because this is better for a wider ladder environment like Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega is. If you're going to take this to an actual in-person event, I would suggest cutting down on some of our 1-point cards in order to upgrade these into Perulias. Now to our spells and traps, we're on 3 Sacred Beast Thunderclap, 2 Fallen Paradise of the Sacred Beast, 1 Dimension Fusion Destruction, Mutiny in the Sky, 3 Sacred Beast Released, 3 Card of the Soul, hope you picked these up when this tech was first discovered, 2 Pair Bear Scare, and 1 Sacred Beast Combined Assault. You may notice we're not playing the Continuous Trap. While it is nice to have, I felt it wasn't worth the points investment, and it also reduced the overall consistency of our deck. Now on to the extra, we're playing 2 copies of the Chaotic Phantasmal Sacred Beast, Luce the Dust Dark, Aerial Eater, Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Gustav Rocket, and of course the Gustav Max go along with it, and also a Cannon Juggernaut Leap. We also have Sky Palace Gangaridai. We have our 1 pointed card in the extra, Verujas the Foundbring of the End Times. Our last rank 10 is Tistina the Divinity that Defies Darkness. We have 1 Dinkiers, the Orchest of the Evening Star. This came up a lot more when there was more than 1 summoner in the deck, but we can still summon this in situations where we have both Luce and the summoner on board. Then we're on Ultimate Slayer on the side, so we have a couple of targets. We have Velom, Packbit, Skullwagon, and 1 Skull Knight. Now the side deck, I'm not sold 100% on the side deck. There's I think only 9 of these cards I actually would say you should probably play no matter what. We have 3 copies of Radiant, and Radiant's okay. Radiant's just fine. Playing a Kaiju was better in the pre-Chaos Origins format. I think it's still a pretty safe pick if you're really unsure of what to actually put in the side like I am. Before I mention Morality Slayer, we have the 3 copies of Ultimate Slayer, 3 Cosmic Cyclone, 3 Spell Card Monster Reborn. I'm still respecting the Hero FTK deck. This is one of the best cards for stopping that. It's also just kind of called by the grave. If you squint at it a little bit, find 3 copies of Pearly Happy Memory. This is the main side deck card for Blitz I'm playing. There are other cards like Eye of Truth or Mugia for Destruction, which are playable and are really strong against Blitz. Unfortunately, us here in Sacred Beast, we need to reveal as well, so we cannot play those cards. Alright, with all that said, why don't we check out some games? Alright, here at game number 1, and our opponent is on Melfi. Melfi, another really powerful deck in Genesis, being 0 points all around, but not having the best Blitzclick matchup. Unfortunately, we are not Blitzclick, so let's see what the Melfi opponent can do. We're going second, and we opened Raphael, Card of the Soul, Hamon, Cosmic Cyclone, and Sacred Beast Release. Our opponent's going to start with a set card and then activate Melfi Wally and activate Melfi Caddy. Deceptively strong start for them. Alright, we draw Nibiru Return. Let's go ahead and Cosmic Dominant Spiral, then activate Card of the Soul, forgetting how the card works. So we just shuffle our deck, and let's go anyway. Sacred Beast Release. Add pitching Uriah and Martyr. Go ahead and activate Summoner of the Sacred Beast, pitching another name, and then summoning out our Raviel. This then triggers their 2 Melfis, Wally and Caddy, bouncing Caddy to hand, adding Melfi Rabbies, a very adorable brand new card, and then Wally will summon a Puppy and Pony. We're going to go ahead and activate Summoner of the Sacred Beast to summon out our Martyr, which they will respond with both Rabby and Puppy, Puppy summoning Kalantosa, and then Rabby summoning itself to then fusion for the fusion summon of Melfi Joyful Surprise. Anyway, we set from our deck Sacred Beast Thunderclap, and then go ahead and activate the effect of bouncing pretty much the entire board except for our theme spell, which they will pop with Kalantosa. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and activate the Nibiru we kept in hand, giving them a token, and let's just go ahead and find Lethal here. We're going to go ahead and reveal Hamon, adding a second Thunderclap effect to set 2 more copies of itself, revealing the last guy in hand to get us the field spell. We will then normal summon Martyr, we had not normal summoned, send our 3 spells to then summon out the summoner, and then use Martyr effect to summon 2 more copies of itself. Let's now send those off for a Raviel, and then use Summoner effect to get us another body. And like I said, we are just finally over here. We go ahead and draw 2. It's Boyo and Mutiny in the Sky, and when the opponent sees the Mutiny come down, they surrender. Game number 2, and our opponent is on Shaddol. Shaddol, another powerful deck, although it is a little more fairly pointed, it's still very interesting with the different versions you can play in Genesis. Our opponent specifically is on the Wake Up version. I think is very cool. Anyway, we're going second once again. We open 2 Sacred Beast Thunderclap, Boyo the Dawn's Light, Ghost, Ogre, and Snow Rabbit, and Card of the Soul. Okay, Ogre, you're going to have to make it happen. Alright, they're going to go ahead and lead with a Void Unleashing revealing Grista. Add 2 cards, and then pitch 1. They're pitch the Rush Shaddol trap card, then activate the left Shaddol, sending Apclone to then add a name whose name I missed. There it is. They went ahead and added Squamata, sent Squamata to then send Hedgehog. Hedgehog effect to add another copy of Grista from deck to hand. They will then reveal Wake Up Kuro, adding Shaddol Wendy to their hand, pitching the Grista. And then Grista effect to fuse, summoning up the brand new El Shaddol Misharcher, who then adds them, I'm sorry about how I pronounce that, adds El Shaddol Fusion. Left Shaddol goes to tribute their fusion, but thankfully we have the Ghost Ogre to pop it, so they will not be able to cheat out another fusion monster. They'll then trigger that effect because it did get sent to summon out Squamata, and then use the El Shaddol Fusion to summon the new Shaddol Wendy Kuruhu. They will then set Shaddol Beast from deck, activate the effect, flipping the beast, setting their Squamata, drawing 2, discarding 1, they discard another Squamata. They will then reveal Mimighoul Maker, and I thought, oh my god, bro, is actually cooking. But it is just able to do any generic flips. So they'll go Wake Up Mocha to flip the Shaddol Hedgehog and set a card, pass. Alright, let's go Pear Bear Scare, and ooh, the opponent does not play Pear Bear Scare. Alright, so we're going to pop the Shaddol Wendy, which then trigger it to add back their Quick Play Fusion. They will also, of course, get the copy of Pear Bear Scare. Alright, let's go Standby Main, activate Card of the Soul. This time we did that correctly, adding Hamon. We will then activate Thunderclap, setting Thunderclap from deck, and another from hand, revealing the Hamon, getting us the Field Spell. Field Spell will then summon Uriah so we can answer that last back row. It is Offerings to the Dune, which I think is pretty interesting. Anyway, Hamon effect gets us the Graceful Charity, and sending Boyo to get Mutiny in the Sky. We will then activate Sacred Beast Release, adding 3, pitching Summoner and the Hamon, and normal summon our Martyr. Martyr will just get us another field spell because I just clicked yes for no reason. They flip Squamata, popping our Martyr, but we have Summoner in rotation, right? So we will then summon 2 more Martyrs from deck and send them off with the field spell to summon a Raviel. With an active field spell to draw 2, and ooh, that's some of the best cards we could have gotten. Let's go Raviel and Uriah to pitch the Phantasmal Summoning Beast, banish it to add the Dimension Fusion Destruction, and now we will Uriah get the trap card. We're not sure at this point if they can do anything to stop us from going lethal, but apparently they got nothing. Game number 3, and our opponent is on Invoked Chimera. Pretty interesting combination of cards, very powerful fusion decks being mashed together. Although both are decently pointed, let's see what we can do. We're actually going first this time. We open Fiendish Rhino Warrior, Martyr the Sacred Beast released, Spell Card Monster Reborn, and Mutiny in the Sky. We're going to lead off with the effect of Sacred Beast released, adding 3, pitching Rhino Warrior and Mutiny in the Sky. So let's go Rhino Warrior effect to send the Phantasmal Summoning Beast to banish it and get us the fusion spell. Alright, now let's go Summoner, pitching itself to summon a Martyr. Martyr effect getting the continuous spell and getting 2 more copies of itself. Revealing one of our guys in hand to then get the field spell. Field spell's effect, we're going to send 3 to summon Hamon from deck. Martyr effect, summon 2 more copies of itself. And then we're going to send them off to summon a Uriah from the deck. Let's draw 2 now while we empty the deck out. Alright, we found the trap, so I guess we don't need to use the Uriah in hand effect. Let's go ahead and now make Varudras. You never know what hand traps you're going to have to play around in Genesis these days. Alright, now we summon a Raviel from grave, then send it from Mutiny in the Sky, because now I realize, oh wait, we can Mutiny. Let's go ahead and send everything back for Luce. Now we have a protected Varudras. Activate the fusion spell, banishing 3, summoning out the Chaotic Phantasmal Sacred Beast, setting Combined Assault, and the Monster Reborn. Alright, let's pass. Our opponent draws for turn, and then they immediately summon Mirror Sword Knight, tributing it, which we then take to make sure they do not have the Mirror Sword Knight negate online. It of course still resolves, so they summon a Bing Wing Baphomet from deck, which will negate with the effect of Chaos Phantasmal Sacred Beast. They chain Chimera Fusion because this does target a face-up monster in the field. So we use our Combined Assault to special summon, and because we have 2 10s, negate the effect. This of course means the Baphomet resolves negated. They then Sacred Spirit Sword Iwas to summon Iwas from deck. But that's an ignition effect, so we can make quick work with our fusion. They discard an extra copy of Iwas to summon Nightmare Apprentice. But let me remind you, this is thrice per turn. So we just get to fire this immediately, negate, they just trigger Iwas, you know, maybe it works like Skill Drain or something, right? But with that, they go ahead and surrender. So we're back with Tekken. Hey, that's pretty good. Let's go over some strengths and weaknesses. First, the strengths. We have a pretty decent Blitzclick matchup. While yes, I could not find any Blitzclick players on the Omega rank ladder, I can assure you the way we built this deck does have a decent matchup. Being able to protect monsters on endboard is really nice. We have a lot of decent gas to go through an established Blitz board. Whisker Blitzclick, their monster negate, also does not negate the effect of monsters in the hand. Therefore, we can still resolve all our Sacred Beast guys. The Sacred Beast Fusion monster also does come baked in with semi-destruction prevention. He's protected twice per turn as long as his card effect. I spent points on Nibiru, Fua, and Ghost Ogre. While not perfect into Blitz, I think these are 3 hand traps that are very good for the rest of the meta. We're also able to play powerful Xyz monsters like Gustav Rocket. Also, in addition to the possible like high ceiling endboards that Sacred Beast can make, there's also some lower ones. For example, if you watch the feature matches with Team Sam and his Sacred Beast deck, he was actually ending on a much lower board that played around Nib and would play very well into Fuelos and Perulia by just bringing out a Raviel with the trap card and some bodies on board, so you'd have the board wipe, the negate, and also be able to set up something like Uriah on the opponent's turn. But with all the strengths come the weaknesses. I mentioned it before, we are weak to cards that people are playing for Blitz, because we must reveal our Sacred Beast monsters to activate their effects. The Eye of Truth and Mutually Deferred Destructions put in to beat the best deck also hurt us a lot. Sacred Beast is also really, really bad into Shifter and Dimensional Fissure. Not as popular as they were pre-Chaos Origins. If they ever come back, we're immediately forced out of the format. All in all, I'm really happy with the way this deck came out. I've definitely been having a lot of fun giving it a shot, both on stream and my off-stream testing. Now, let's just hope there's no points list between now when I'm recording this and whenever you are listening to it. Anyway, if there's a deck you would like to see me feature in the series, go ahead and leave that in the comments below. And while you're down there, subscribe to the channel and like the video. Goodbye.